So we are understanding Panchadashi, 15 chapters, 5 chapters of each: existence, consciousness, and bliss means permanent happiness. And then I skipped 4 chapters and I went into the 6th one, which talks about the consciousness. And that consciousness we are understanding by metaphor. So it is a little bit technical, but once we understand this metaphor clearly, the things becomes clear. The entire this chapter by this great master is based on this metaphor. What he wants to tell us. So that brings us to a question that what exactly is the practice to discover the real self? Is practice doing a regular daily? That's what I have been recommending. So master says no. Listening to the teacher, no. No. Doing contemplation, reflection, no. We are the highest level of a seeker. So the master is saying that, are you clear about the goal? You go to the ticket counter and you say, give me the ticket. What is your destination? Forget about destination. Just give me a ticket. I'm ready to pay. This is what we think by the practice. We wake up in the morning. What this beer guy told me to do the practice, let me contemplate, and the mind is wandering, and we are not clear. That is why we say knowledge is realized in stages. Seed does not become a tree overnight. I'm talking to you. You are aware of the body. You are also aware of the different bodies, virtual computer monitor. You see millions, I would say hundred of stuff, hundred of things are together. And it's an intelligent working of the consciousness to produce this event. Behind that event, there is one consciousness. That is one real self. So that is what we are trying to understand by a metaphor. You see, by social convention is one type of the truth. Oh, so you got married? Yes. How many kids you have? 2. I'm referring to myself. Okay, 2 kids. Oh, so you have produced 2 kids? We never ask these questions. It's by default. Really? Say yes. But we never see the intelligent working of that consciousness in the womb of a mother for 9 months and later also. We simply say, oh, go for this X, and now you are pregnant, and now 9 months, and we take everything at the surface level, face value. That is what we say, face value. We don't see behind the face. That causes lot of challenges because We are caught up in the effect. And that is why science is caught up in the effect. That is why we say symptomatic treatment. We don't say that we are treating the cause, the root cause. And that is how our mind works all the time. So being a seeker is internalizing, living, being aware of the ultimate cause. So when you are aware of the ultimate cause, you are already there. This is what Master says. This is why how the Master explains. So because the mind is not able to grasp, so the Master creates a model, parable, metaphors, similes. So when we are engrossed at the purely at the outermost level, the gross level, the level of the effect, we cannot find the truth. Now, wave is truth. No, wave is not the truth. Only the water is truth. The essence is the water. If the water is not there, a wave cannot exist. But how the wave is created, how the ocean is created, water is the truth. Water in the ocean or ocean in the water. So our mind should be pure enough to return to that level of understanding. That is why I said knowledge is realized in stages. So we have the metaphor. I told you the clothes, cleaned clothes. Then the starch is put there because after putting the starch, that is the causal level. And then we create a sketch. And after that, we can have a variety of painting. You know that you can have a different sketching, and you can also have a different painting with the different colors. But that very causal is only one. What it means? Huh? We are me, Sam, Stephen, Rakesh, Vaibhav, and Anastasia. Painting is different. Lower level, subtler level. Sketching is different. Causal. When we say we all are human beings, we don't see it. We just refer at the outer level. So, with this metaphor, the Master says the innermost level is one consciousness. Then we have a causal stage. Then we have a subtle stage. Then we have a gross or the physical stage of manifestation. Why there is a difference? Difference is due to the level of pure consciousness manifesting in each name and the form. And that is what we understood. Matter, consciousness is not manifesting there, expressing itself. It is there. It is there. That is how we understand with this metaphor. So when the matter plus life is added, it becomes a plant kingdom. But don't see the plant kingdom. We see as if the sapling of that consciousness is growing. The consciousness has started manifesting in the presence of life, in the presence of life force, in the presence of life energy. Are you getting it? Say yes, even if you don't get it. It's better to say yes, so that I continue with my thought process, and later on you can listen to it. You ask the baby, young baby, do you know the plane? Yes, I know the plane. I kept it in my closet. Let me bring it. Baby understands. Why don't you understand? That is why we say that we should have a childlike mind. That makes one a seeker. So, matter plus life, so consciousness is manifesting in the presence of the life. It is further manifesting, increasing degree in animals. And now we can recognize, we can separate this consciousness from the body, the mind, and intellect and ego. This capability, this ability lies with the human being. And once you separate, you already know your real self. So you see that first, first metaphor, first metaphor, metaphor, the first part of the metaphor, the first level, the innermost level, we say that cloth is naturally clean. It need not to be made clean. It is not artificial, but natural. It is pure. We refer it to, for the sake of understanding, it is like a white in color. Okay. Now we starch it. So understand, be clear, and go slowly starch it to prepare for the painting. To prepare for the painting, it needs to be stiffened by the starch. This is obtained from the water. Do you remember the starch in which the rice is boiled normally? That's one way of creating a starch in a traditional way. And the third level, then the cloth is stiffened and we can have a sketch. I don't decide during, I'm taking a very rough example. I think that will make us, I don't make a decision as a father to produce a boy and girl. It is already decided. That is the efficient cause. Let me challenge any newly married couple. If they guarantee that I'm going to produce, I'm pointing you to the understanding of the causal nature. Causal has positive aspect and negative aspect. Causal, obviously, I do not know, I'm ignorant about it. What is positive, what is negative. And once that is stiffened, then the subtle body desires. And that is what the sketching is. The fertilization of the egg and the semen is just a sketch. Nothing more than that. Nothing less than that. And once that sketching is done, and ultimately the fourth stage of the manifestation comes. So where this master says you need not to do any practice, but you have to look and see the ultimate cause. What is the ultimate cause of matter? Is this matter? Yes, but this is electromagnetic field. I see it, it looks solid to my sense organs. But when I contemplate and reflect and I see, I'm in a delusion because this matter appears solid, but fact is, it is energy. This is what the science says. Do you agree? Say yes. Science says this. I'm not saying. Same thing with the life force. The science says it's a life force, it's a bioplasma, and lot of different names. We simply say prana. Ultimate cause is one unit of energy, life energy. It manifests from the consciousness. That is why the science is not able to find the ultimate of what is life force, what makes this matter manifest its activities. That is the journey presented by this master in this metaphor. You are listening, it means you are understanding, isn't it? Understand through another way. Uh, Conception, conceive. The word is used, conceive. First is conception, then there is a sensation, and then there is a perception. Parents only creates a trigger. And from that trigger, the further manifestation takes place. Even if you do not understand, say yes, my friend. Why? So that you can, I'm going to send you this file to listen to it. We have already understood that the entire world is made up of three gunas, three qualities. Either you say there's nature according to Eastern wisdom, you say it's another name is given as a prakriti, and that prakriti is made of from the three gunas, satoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna. Knowledge, activity, inertia. Knowledge, activity, inertia. The entire universe is in the constant churning of the movement in between the knowledge, activity, and the inertia. Consciousness puts the starch in this example of these three gunas. That is the starch. In that simile, in that metaphor. So once you have that, now the process of creation starts. In me also, in you also. Ultimate cause is the consciousness. We have come up with another principle, another model. Understand, be very clear. We have many scientific models. We talk of the model, we talk of the business model, science model. So we have models. When the science was not there, this text was written almost 1500 years ago. Look at this guy who gives you a model to understand my true nature, my real self. Yeah? So the innermost, the ultimate cause, the ultimate reality, we say consciousness, pure consciousness or consciousness. Don't confuse yourself. Consciousness is the seat of the consciousness is the brain, and they have different models. In science, we have 5 or 6 models of consciousness. Whether the brain produces the consciousness or whether the consciousness produces the brain. So we are not going into the confusion. We are following the Eastern wisdom and their principle. So it says the consciousness is the ultimate reality. And then there is an inner creative impulse coming from the Prakriti with the three gunas. The master says, if your mind lives in that knowledge, knowledge means awareness, it means consciousness, it means experience, if you go deep. So that is why the Eastern wisdom says you have to become a seeker first to qualify to live and enter into the highest state of the consciousness. That is why the mindfulness is known as what it known as effortless, natural. It's a non-practice. It can only happen the non-practice when we reach that ultimate level of awareness inside us. No, I am there. Go ahead. Really? So if you are there, why you're listening to me? So, we should question. We should question. We should not stop. No, I'm listening because you have beard. That's not a right answer. Now, because I like you, don't like me. Mindfulness meditation has nothing to do with the likes and dislikes. It will not work. Now, I like that guru and I don't like this guru. It will not work. I told you in the very beginning, are you clear about the destination? From there, the practice starts or non-practice begins. I gave you an example. You go to the ticket counter, you say, give me a ticket. Okay. What is your destination? Forget about destination. Just give me a ticket. Now we do it in sadhana show. In spiritual practices, we think like this. Oh no, don't ask me what is the destination. Here is the money, give me a ticket. So we think we are confusing the teachers. No, teachers are not confused in Eastern wisdom. That trigger, second level that I discussed, the trigger and the third level, now it comes the subtle body of which we know, subtle body, the mind and the memory, the intellect and the ego. So the conception is already done. Now it is all about perception. Perception is knowledge. It's a cognition. It's also a recognition. Leave all the words. It is pure awareness. So that pure consciousness is permeating in my thought, in my speech, in my relationship, in my action, in my stress, in my pain, in my pleasure, is what we are discovering in meditation or mindfulness. It is not that many people tell me, I practice mindfulness. Oh, to discover Buddha. Come on. You discover yourself. You don't discover Buddha. So what happens? I have been talking about this, and then we will go into non-practice. This week you should contemplate. You should. I never say must. Why? I'm not a teacher. I just express myself for the judge. Consciousness, I'm using the phrase by another great master, Sri Aurobindo. You see, I borrow the knowledge from these masters. So borrowed is one word, and being absorbed into that awareness and knowledge is totally another. There is no knowledge missed by these 3,000 masters in the Eastern wisdom, is not scribed in 3,000 texts. But when you are become a seeker, you are continuing your journey, you study one book, you contemplate and reflect under a teacher, what happens? Your mind reveals the knowledge which is already written in other books. It naturally reveals. Then you simply scan the book and I know it. It is clear. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. It does not happen in science. Does not happen in science. Why? Because we are discovering our real self. Yes, now come to the main statement that I said you should contemplate. Consciousness creates. I'm using the term creates for the sake of understanding, and enters into what it creates. Contemplate and reflect on it, and the greater the reflection, mindfulness becomes a non-practice. Meditation becomes a non-practice. Means what? You live in meditation, you think in meditation, you act in meditation. Did you understand? Yeah, say yes, but still I'll make you understand. Can I say water creates wave and enters into the wave? You cannot think of the wave without water. Can I say you created sun and entered into him? Answer is yes. How to prove it? How to understand it? Parents created daughter like Christina and entered into her. The way the water created the waves and entered into it. Once you are there with your contemplation and reflection, you need not to do any practice. Give another example. You are already present. Are you here and now? And if the Christina says, okay, wait for a minute, I'll be here and now in a few minutes. It means I have to do a practice. You are here and now. You are in that field of awareness. Do you see that? That takes us to the highest state of meditation. To contemplate and reflect on consciousness enters. No, consciousness first creates, second level, from the innermost. What is that? Starts level. In this metaphor, in this model. Enters into second level. And then it creates subtle and third and the fourth level manifest. Can I say the space has created your home and entered into it? I can give you hundreds of examples. In the presence of the space, you have your house. Forget about the house, you have your body. I'm very beautiful. No, beautiful without space, you cannot exist. You will think about your beauty later. First, think of your existence. It is here and now. This is what this master is trying to make us understand. This master says you need not to practice. But who need not to practice? Who needs the destination? Who is very clear about the destination? Who does not say, oh, how many times I have to do the practice? This practice is good, then that practice is not good. Just pick up. This practice is good. Where's the destination? Go to the same example. Where you want to go? Now forget about it. You give me the ticket. So when I'm aware of that, we are already there. Last point, and then we will further this, that another point of contemplation and reflection, this master says, how much money you have in your bank account? No, don't tell me. Think in your mind. Why should you tell me? And now you have a desire to earn money. Say, for example, you have, no, I should make it a big figure. You all have a $1 million in your account. You want to make it 10 million. So those 9 million will come from outside. Yeah, I have to make an effort. Right? Action, practice, doing business or doing a job, etc., etc. So that is one way to understand how to achieve my goal of $10 million. But when the real self is already inside, it is already inside me. How to attain? Do you need any practice? Practice means time and space. You have to cover a distance. So meditation or mindfulness is a journey to discover what is already attained. Are you getting it? What is already achieved. That is why we say it is a non-practice. Long back, 5 years ago, when girls are always beautiful, so I say by default. Not like me or Sam or Stephen. So she wrote, but mindfulness is effortless and natural. That is why I do practice daily. You don't understand. Understanding is required. That is why I do practice daily. So it demands clarity, understanding. So let us start our journey. Eyes are closed. Are you doing anything now? Eyes are